Queen Seondeok, the first female monarch of Korea. In all of Korean history, there are only a handful of women who ever ruled a nation. And among them, one stands out, Queen Seondeok, the very first female ruler of the Silla Kingdom. And one of the few female monarchs in all of East Asia. She was not born to power, she claimed it, in a time when women were never meant to rule. Yet through wisdom, intelligence, and sheer determination, she led her country through chaos and left behind a legacy that still inspires people today. So, how did a woman become king in a patriarchal world? And what kind of leader was she? Let's dive into the story of Queen Seondeok, the wise ruler who saw the stars before anyone else. 1. Background: how could a woman become king? To understand her story, we need to look at Silla's strict class system, known as the bone rank system. Only those of the highest rank, called Singal, the sacred bone, could inherit the throne. Princess Deokman, later known as Queen Seondeok, was born the eldest daughter of King Jingpyeong. The problem: the king had no sons. That meant no male heir of sacred bone bloodline existed. And for the first time, the kingdom had to consider a woman. But as you can imagine, a female monarch in the 7th century was unthinkable. When rumors spread that Princess Deokman might be named successor, many aristocrats rose in protest. There was even a rebellion, the revolt of Chilsuk and Shokpum, sparked partly by opposition to her succession. Still, in the year 632, Deokman ascended the throne as Queen Seondeok of Silla, the first reigning queen in Korean history, and one of the earliest in all of East Asia. 2. A queen in a man's world, establishing authority. When Seondeok became queen, Silla was already struggling. The kingdom faced constant attacks from Baekje and Kukkuyo, and internal power struggles among nobles were tearing the nation apart. A female ruler, in such times, was an easy target for criticism. People doubted her authority. They doubted her strength. So Seondeok knew, she had to prove herself. From her first day on the throne, she worked to establish her legitimacy and royal dignity. She took the title Seondeok, the Holy Ancestor Empress, a name that subtly hid her femininity, while emphasizing divine royal blood. In short, she used both symbolism and wisdom to build respect, not by brute force, but by intelligence. Japanese castle emoji. 3. Politics through symbolism, temples, towers, and the stars. One of the Queen's most brilliant political tools was Buddhism. She didn't just promote the religion. She used it to unite the people and strengthen royal authority. Under her reign, magnificent temples were built, Bunvangsa, Yeongmayasa, and most famously, the 9-story wooden pagoda of Hwangryongsa. This pagoda was enormous, nearly 80 meters tall, a technological and spiritual marvel of its time. It symbolized the belief that with this tower, Silla will rise above all nations. It was both a prayer and a declaration of power. Another masterpiece from her era still stands today, Gyeongseongdae, the oldest surviving astronomical observatory in East Asia. It was used to observe stars and track seasons for farming, but symbolically, it showed that the queen, the one who could read the heavens, was truly chosen by the divine. Seondeok ruled not just with words or armies, but with architecture, faith, and meaning. Speech bubble emoji. 4. The Wise Queen, Tales of Insight. There's a reason Seondeok is often called the Queen of Wisdom. Many stories from ancient chronicles highlight her foresight and intuition. One of the most famous tales comes from Samkyusa. The Emperor of Tang once sent her a painting of peonies and a box of peony seeds, praising their beauty. After seeing the painting, Seondeok said, "These flowers are beautiful, but they have no fragrance." And sure enough, when the flowers bloomed, they had no scent at all. How did she know? Because the painting had no bees or butterflies in it. She had noticed what others had missed. This story isn't just about intelligence. It's about perception, the ability to see what lies beneath the surface. And that's what made her such a remarkable ruler. Crossed 5. War and crisis. The Baekje invasion. Of course, her reign wasn't all wisdom and peace. In 642, Baekje's King Uja launched a massive invasion. 40 Silla fortresses fell one after another. Even Diji Fortress, a key strategic stronghold, was lost. One of the commanders there, Kim Pumseok, was actually the son-in-law of Kim Chunchu, a powerful noble and future king. The loss devastated the court. In desperation, Seondeok sent envoys to the Tang dynasty, seeking military aid. But Emperor Taizong refused, saying, "How can a woman rule a country?" It was an insult. And a reminder of the world she was forced to lead in. Compass emoji. 6. Internal reforms, governing with care. Despite the wars, Seondeok never lost sight of her people. She reduced taxes in famine years, sent officials to inspect local conditions, and introduced relief policies for the poor. She also focused on education and talent. Young aristocrats were sent to Tang China to study, and future leaders like Kim Yuxin and Kim Chunchu rose to prominence under her reign. In a sense, she wasn't just ruling the present, she was preparing the future. Those very men she empowered would later lead Silla toward unifying the Korean peninsula. Fire emoji. 7. The final challenge, Baidam's rebellion. But the greatest threat came not from outside, it came from within. In the final year of her reign, a powerful noble named Baidam, along with General Yeongjong, staged a rebellion. Their slogan was simple: "A woman cannot rule a nation." Civil war erupted in the capital. The aging and ill queen placed her trust in Kim Yuxin, ordering him to crush the revolt. During the battle, a meteor shot across the sky, terrifying Seondeok's troops. So Kim Yuxin lit thousands of fireballs at night, making it appear as if the star had risen back into heaven. The troops regained their courage, and the rebellion was defeated. But Seondeok's health failed soon after. She passed away in 647. As her capital still smoldered from the flames of rebellion. Cherry blossom emoji. 8. Death and legacy. Before her death, Seondeok gave one final order: bury me facing the Dori heaven. In Buddhist belief, Dori heaven is the realm where Buddha resides. Her tomb still lies near Namsan in Gyeongju, a quiet hill, said to be the place she foresaw. After her death, the kingdom fell into turmoil again. But the foundation she built, the people she trained, the structures she raised allowed Silla to endure and, eventually, achieve the unification of the three kingdoms. Dove emoji. 9. Ending, the legacy of a queen. Queen Seondeok wasn't just Korea's first queen. She was a leader who saw beyond her time, who ruled with intellect, vision, and heart. In a world that doubted her because of her gender, she chose wisdom as her weapon. And with it, she held a nation together. Over 1,300 years later, her story still asks us a question. What makes a true leader? Perhaps, it's not power or strength but the courage to lead with vision. Headphone emoji, closing narration, fade out music in a time of chaos, one woman ruled the stars. Her name was Queen Seondeok. The wise queen of Silla,